Qwen is not one chatbot. It is Alibaba's family of language and multimodal models, spanning downloadable checkpoints, hosted services, and systems built for large clusters. Version 3.8 pushes that family toward coding, research, computer use, and agents that must complete long sequences of work. Its two open checkpoints operate at completely different scales. The Qwen 3.8 model, with 2.4 trillion total parameters and 95 billion active per token, is a text-only sparse model. It belongs in a data center. The 27B version of Qwen 3.8 is the practical model, dense, multimodal, Apache licensed, and small enough to quantize for personal hardware. That makes the 27B the more interesting question. How much serious AI capability can you run and control on your own machine? Released on August 14, 2026, the 27B version of Qwen 3.8 accepts text, images, and video. The language model has 27 billion parameters. Hugging Face reports about 28 billion tensors for the complete multimodal artifact. Its 64 layers repeat one pattern 16 times, 3 gated DeltaNet layers, then 1 full attention layer. DeltaNet carries long sequences with less cache pressure. Full attention periodically restores precise global recall. The result is 48 efficient sequence layers and 16 full attention layers working together. The model also includes multi-token prediction. Compatible runtimes can propose several future tokens and verify them, creating a path to faster decoding without a separate draft model. This hybrid design is the foundation of the model's promise: long documents, visual inputs, and persistent agent histories without turning memory demand into the entire product. Thinking is enabled by default with X-high, medium, and low reasoning effort. It can also be disabled for direct responses. Preserved thinking lets an agent continue its plan across turns instead of reconstructing it repeatedly. Qwen recommends different sampling for each mode. Thinking uses temperature 1.0, top P 0.95, and no presence penalty. Non-thinking uses temperature 0.7, top P 0.8, and a presence penalty of 1.5 to reduce repetition. Native context is 262,144 tokens. Yarn can extend it toward 1 million, but common runtimes use static scaling. Leaving maximum scaling enabled can reduce quality on short prompts. Stay native when possible. Extend context only when the workload requires it. Long context is a deployment decision, not free capacity. In Qwen's evaluation, the 27B scores 73.0 on Terminal Bench 2.1, 61.7 on OSWorld-Verified Pro, 90.3 on LiveCodeBench version 6, and 70.7 on CoWorkbench. Computer use results are equally notable: 84.3 on OSWorld-Verified, 64.8 on WebArena-Verified, and 81.9 on Android World. The improvement over Qwen 3.6 is concentrated in execution. Terminal Bench rises from 63.4 to 73.0. OSWorld moves from 63.9 to 84.3. Deep SWE jumps from 13.3 to 42.2. The pattern is clear.
Version 3.8 is better at coding inside environments, operating interfaces, and completing multi-step tasks. But these numbers are vendor-reported. They establish Qwen's case, not a final independent verdict.
Artificial analysis provides the strongest independent signal reviewed here.
The 27B version of Qwen 3.8 scores 52.02 on Intelligence Index version 4.1.1.
In the captured comparison, it ranks first among 135 permissively licensed open-weight reasoning models in the 4 to 40 billion parameter class. That is a class rank, not first place against every AI system. The index also favors Qwen's strengths. Agents carry 34% of the score, coding 24%, scientific reasoning 24%, and general evaluations 18%. Nearby composite scores are 53.20 for DeepSeek V4 Pro and 52.32 for GPT 5.6 Luna at maximum effort. Qwen is statistically close at this displayed precision, but not numerically identical. Artificial analysis is mainly an English text-based suite. It does not independently prove Qwen's complete multilingual image or video performance.
The independent results expose two important costs. First, verbosity. Qwen produced about 163 million output tokens across the index, compared with a 43 million class median, roughly 3.7 times more. Long reasoning may support the high score, but it also means more latency, energy, and hosted output cost. Second, knowledge reliability. On artificial analysis's difficult omniscience test, accuracy was 15.58%, and the test-specific hallucination rate was 30.29%. That does not describe every Qwen response. It does show that confident factual answers need retrieval, citations, and verification. Artificial analysis had no measured provider speed for this model in the captured snapshot. The evidence supports intelligence and token use claims, not a claim that hosted inference is proven fast. The official BF16 artifact is about 54.7 gigabytes before runtime overhead. That means an 80 gigabyte class GPU or multiple GPUs. Official FP8 is more practical on roughly 48 gigabyte hardware. For consumer systems, GGUF is the useful format. 4-bit files include 14.3 gigabytes for IQ4XS, 16.5 for Q4KM, and 17.6 for Q4KXL. On a 24 gigabyte GPU, start around Q4KM or Q4KXL with an 8K to 32K context. On 16 gigabytes, use a smaller quantization, reduced context, or partial CPU offload. Weight file size is not peak memory. From the published attention configuration, BF16 KV cache is roughly half a gigabyte at 8K context, 2 gigabytes at 32K, and 16 gigabytes at the full native window, before vision, runtime, and compute overhead. A 4-bit file can fit on a 24 gigabyte card. The complete 262K workload usually cannot fit beside it without further compromises. Artifact provenance matters. BF16 and FP8 are official Qwen releases. Unsloth's GGUF files are community quantizations of the official checkpoint. Lower bit rates improve accessibility, but can change reasoning quality.
The Jonathan Coletti uncensored GGUF is a third-party safety modification. It reduces refusal behavior, but it was not comprehensively tested for coding, math, vision, multilingual work, or agents. It is not a universally improved Qwen model. Choose deployment in this order. Define the workload, decide whether it must remain local, measure usable memory, including cache, select the least compressed artifact that fits, and test quality and speed on the real task. Do not choose from a file size table alone.
Qwen 3.8 27B is not a miniature of the 2.4 trillion parameter max system. It can hallucinate. It can reason for too long. Aggressive quantization can weaken the capability you downloaded it for. But as a model you can own, it is unusually complete, dense, Apache licensed, natively multimodal, long context, configurable in reasoning effort, and strong in both official and independent agentic evaluations. On a 24 GB GPU, a 4-bit build is a credible local deployment if context remains practical and the workload is measured. For factual research, verification remains essential. For routine work, lower reasoning effort may matter more than another hardware upgrade. So is it frontier AI on one GPU? Not at full precision, not with a million-token cache, and not without trade-offs. But it is close enough to the frontier, broad enough for real work, and small enough to live on your side of the network.
That is why Qwen 3.8 27B matters. Subscribe, like, and comment.